Hey guys, and welcome back once again to another series by the Brothers Play. This time I'll be going through some Shadow of Mordor. Super cool game. I think it has definitely crept up on most of us as a bit of a surprise as to how awesome it is actually. I've played probably about 24, 25 hours of it so far, and I've really been enjoying it. Most of the time I've been mucking around with the Nemesis system, which I think is it's really well done. They've implemented it really well, and just the number of little stories, little combat, little bouts with really annoying war chiefs and everything like that come up are super good fun. So having said that, I have found it, I don't know, I think quite a few other people as well, after just going through Reddit and everything, have found at times it can be a little bit easy. So what I have done is I've looked through a couple of different threads, and lots of people have been having ideas of making the game more challenging. For example, only using Wraith abilities, only using certain abilities on Urukai, or Uruks rather, they're not Urukai yet. And things such as only being able to brand captains or war chiefs unless the story demands it. So I've come up with a little list of my own that I'd like to call the Dark Ranger mode, which I'm pretty excited about this. It should make it super exciting, super fun. So basically, I'm going to be using these 1, 2, 5 rules here. I don't know why that little bullet point's funny. Oh well, anyway, yeah, these 5 little rules here. So the first one is I'll only use epic runes acquired from a death threat, and 1 rune per weapon. So I think that runes definitely something that increase your power as you go through the game, especially the amount of them you have on your weapon towards the end game. Combat prompts will be turned off, which something I've played around with a tiny little bit, and it definitely makes it more interesting. You certainly have to watch combat a lot more rather than running into about 20 different Uruks and just carving your way through them. The passage of time, so trying to simulate just a natural passage of time and all that sort of stuff going through Mordor, just occurring every single day as it would do. And so after every fast travel, time must be passed, which of course simulates his travel time there. And after about I was going to do every 3 events, but that might be a little bit too recent. I could always change it up a little bit through. So after every 5 events, including story missions, power struggles and whatnot, I'll fast forward time as well, which should get everything moving. It doesn't leave you with, I don't know, killing every single Uruk apart from 2, and then nothing happens afterwards. And this one should be pretty exciting later on in the second half of the game, once you have the branding ability, which is branding only random Uruks and only using those guys to make their way up the ladder. So starting off from an average Joe, and I feel like you'd get a lot more attached, a bit more of a rapport going with just one random average Joe climbing his way all the way up to War Chief, rather than just branding someone who's already an elite or a veteran captain and taking them there. And the other part will be only using the top row of Wraith abilities, so they're the ones you're basically given. That is, I think, mounting a Caragor. I'll just open up Shadow of Mordor actually, have a look. There we go. So that is Elven Swiftness, just to get around quicker. I don't see this as being particularly super strong in terms of combat or anything like that, so I think it's fair to use. Detonate. When you're not using some of the other abilities on the later war chiefs who have got things like Combat Master, stuff like that, I think being able to use fires and everything is definitely handy. Wraith Stun, you start off with it, it's given to you, and I could easily see Talon just using some kind of strong, heavy force attack on an enemy anyway. And riding Caragors, which once again I think is something a ranger could in theory learn. I'm not going to be riding Grorks and stuff like that, so should seem fairly balanced. I'm able to go through everything in the ranger tree, and yeah, attributes, a little bit undecided on attributes at the moment. I suppose I can just decide on that as I go along. Things like, I guess, max elf shot makes sense, increasing your quiver. Not too sure about max health. Weapons, runes, I'm only going to be taking 1 in each, and that's when I get to epic runes as well. And these guys at the bottom I won't be using. So probably just the max elf shot sort of thing, and the max health up. So with that said and done, let's get started.